Because to me, not playing the idol. Okay, yes, Ross agrees with me. I love it. I love it. I'm reporting to you from Vietnam still, Ho Chi Minh City. I hope everyone's doing good today, at least a lot better than me. I'm reporting this video to you very, very heartbroken. I just, well, it is 2:20 p.m. on Friday, May 8th here in Vietnam right now. I watched this week's episode of Survivor last night, and of course, I'm heartbroken because of Ozzy's devastating elimination. I have to say, he got me once again. I thought maybe Ozzy actually finally was getting his head in the game, wasn't going to completely shoot himself in the foot again. I let my guard down. I just got completely burned. Okay, so I have here Dalton Ross is the great Survivor fan, Entertainment Weekly writer, Dalton Ross's article on it. And I haven't even completely read this yet. Thought it might be more interesting to just go through it live. So he says he's been waking up in the middle of the night for the last year with regrets. How he could have somehow changed the past. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what he's saying. Is he saying he wished he could go back in time, or he should have done something different? But yeah, he definitely needs to have a lot of regrets right now. Survivor legend Ozzy talks about being the victim of a soul-destroying blindside on Survivor 50. Ozzy reveals what it was like after the cameras turned off. The eliminated player also relaxed to alliance partner Rizzo turning on him. I just have to say, Ozzy turned on Rizzo before Rizzo turned on him. Just moments before the votes were read at Tribal Council, Ozzy was still deciding whether or not to play his idol short. I mean, this is like, if I'm not mistaken, this is the third time he's gone home with an idol in his pocket. He just doesn't have. I'm sorry, he's one of my favorite players. He's brought me so much joy watching him play. I mean, out of everyone who has played and not won, this is the guy I want to see win the most. It's so frustrating. He just, I don't, it's hard to put into words. It's like, I guess, I mean, after 5 seasons, he still doesn't understand what a threat he is to people. And he just thinks he can coast through without using his idol. I don't get it. I mean, I'm sure other players made him feel comfortable, but, and I understand using an idol is a very, very tough thing. He's not the only one to go home with an idol. I'm pretty sure he's the only one to be eliminated or to be voted off. He wasn't really eliminated the second time, but to be voted out with an idol in his pocket, I'm pretty sure he's the only player to have that to do that 3 times. You would think after 3 times. I mean, I would have a lot more respect for him if he would have played the idol maybe like 2 or 3 travels ago and been regretting it. But the guy, like it says here, making the exit even more painful is the fact that it came from a self-inflicted wound. Well, also the fact he had a dream, he had a premonition warning him to to not play his idol. And then, oh, I remember watching it, watching the episode, and I had the exact same reaction as Rizzo before Rizzo's confessional appeared. I'm sitting there just watching this. What do you call it? This. It's not a meltdown, but this tragedy. There's a better word for it, but that's all I could think of. I'm watching this. My eyes are bugging out. My jaw is literally dropping, and I'm screaming at the screen. What are you doing? Just I'm like, oh no, oh my God. But I'm thinking, well, hopefully, if he's going to do this, at least he's going to play his damn idol. I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, I understand that Survivor is a very brutal game, when you are starving and not sleeping. But I noticed last week he has a blanket. I saw him like take a blanket, I think, to the auction, and saw him out of his bag when he got back. I'm probably remembering that correctly, but where did he even get that blanket from? I can't remember. But anyway, he has a blanket, so he must be sleeping fairly well. But was he just starving and having such lack of sleep that his head was just, he just could not think straight? I mean, I understand that's a good excuse for a lot of bonehead moves by Survivor players. It's really tough when you're not sleeping or eating to really think straight. But I mean, and it just came from auction. He just ate that fried chicken. I mean, he can't be starving that much. So I really don't think that's a really good excuse. So it says here the root of his undoing was his attempting to do jury management with Aubrey by laying out, basically blowing up his game, and the move backfired. Yeah, no joke. In a big way. It says here Rizzo turned on him. I maintain Ozzy turned on Rizzo by blowing up his game to Aubrey. And how did this tragic end compare to other Survivor disappointments? Okay, I haven't read this whole thing, but personally, I think this is the biggest bonehead move yet. It's not like he was playing this great game anyway to begin with. I mean, trying to make peace with coach after coach totally screwed him over in South Pacific. I love the guy. I really, really love him, but he's an idiot. So what happened after the cameras cut off, and what does Ozzy make of Rizzo not warning him to play his idol? We asked the blindsided Jungle Boy, excuse me, Jungle Man, all that and more. Yeah, I do. I did actually. I think I saw him. Was that in the episode or? Oh yeah, I guess that was in the episode where he took offense being called Jungle Boy. But all that they asked him that, and you can now watch or read the entire emotional interview below. Okay, so Dalton says you look like you were having almost an out of body experience after being voted out. Can't really blame him for that. Just sort of shuffling around in a daze. Walk me through what that was like. Okay, this should be interesting. Ozzy says, I was trying to come up with something cool to say, but was pretty shocked at my own naivete, you know? No joke. Come on. I mean, Devin said in the last tribal, people are coming after you. Suri tried to warn him. Suri, at the beginning of this episode, Suri told him, I mean, it was like not completely sincere, but Suri told him you need to start thinking about using your idol. Says the fact that I once again went home with an idol in my pocket, even after I had a dream. Don't get me started. I mean, I already kind of went over that. Had a premonition, but oh my Lord. How? How do you not play your idol after having a premonition like that and being in such a small group? Only three other people to vote for. Everyone only had like three choice or had three other choices besides him. I knew it was coming. And actually, to be specific, or just to clarify, actually, it's not completely accurate to say he went home with an idol in his pocket in Micronesia because, from what I understand, he didn't even have the idol in his pocket. He actually left it back at camp. Ugh, Ozzy. Okay, so it says, it's like you got the angel and the devil on your shoulders. I'm really bad at not listening to my angel. And the devil's like, don't play the idol. And you got this another day. You can do it. Why? I mean, two people were getting eliminated this episode. There would only be seven left. He could win immunity. I mean, he would only be competing against six other players. He would have his he still had his ally in the game to help him. So it was a risk that I, for whatever reason, I don't know. I still don't know why I did it. You know what they say about Latin fighters, man? They're too macho. Just too effing macho. I say this as being half Tejano. Latin boxers is too effing macho. They just don't know when to back down. He says, I mean, I don't even know why I told Aubrey. Yeah, he does. He knows why. He says he doesn't know why he told about Aubrey, about Sari and their plans. I just exploded my game, and yeah, it was like an out of body experience. He knows why, and he's still not man enough to admit that that was the cause of his downfall. It wasn't not playing the idol. I really don't think they were going to vote for him until Aubrey sunk his ship. I mean, in what world does Aubrey not use that information against him? And I'm really starting to think that Ozzy, I don't think he even watches Survivor after screwing up so badly, playing so badly strategically 5 times. I'm starting to honestly believe he doesn't even watch Survivor unless he's on it. Okay, while we're on the subject of Aubrey, man, I just gotta say, you know, the only reason she has played 4 times is because the brilliant producers of the show love the way she talks in metaphors because they think that players talking in metaphors. I mean, they love all players to talk in metaphors, and she's like the biggest one. I think she probably actually maybe knows that. I think that's probably calculated. I mean, at least partly. And I mean, I don't think she's as smart or a smart player as she thinks she is, but I think she's probably perceptive enough to know that the producers keep bringing her. Well, maybe not, but but still, the only reason keeps coming back, I think, keeps being brought back is because of all those stupid metaphors she's always saying. To me personally, they just seem really cheesy, but the brilliant producers seem to love it. But I have to say, this episode, she made a really great one, comparing herself to a cockroach that just won't go away. Let's move on. Dalton says, "You said I can't explain how painful this is to anyone. So naturally, I'm going to ask you to explain it." I love him. Dalton Ross is just the best. I haven't been reading him for a while. It's so hard because I usually I don't watch the season as it airs. I kind of like to wait and start late. And so like going back and finding the article is kind of um makes it difficult. But I like to wait so I don't have to wait so long in between episodes. But anyway, he says, "How did the feeling here stack up to being blindsided in Micronesia, which I know was particularly hard as well?" And he says, "This is all my own doing. No joke. I sensed it coming. Yeah. The closer you get to the end, oh yeah, that's some of that." And he goes on to Aubrey about, "Oh, I'm so close." Who does that? How did he possibly think that was a good thing to say to Aubrey? "I'm so close. I got it. Oh, you just gotta help me get this, Aubrey."
What the hell were you thinking?
I mean, that's another reason why I think he just doesn't watch Survivor. Probably hasn't seen her play very much. Anyway, he says, I just let my trust in Jonathan and Joe and Rizzo overcome my sensibilities and my intuition." Come on, man. It's been 5 times. I really felt the smartest move would be to get rid of Aubrey and to have it. I'm just one of those types of players I want to play with. I'm just one of those types of players I want to play with. It's not that Aubrey's not the best, but when it comes to physical challenges and things, I just thought that Joe and Jonathan were ellipsis. I was really naive about that. I don't know what he's saying. I don't think he knows what he's saying either. I remember Micronesia, you were angry, and this seemed different to me. It was like just disappointed and sad. And you even said how sad it was. Walk me through how you were doing that even after the cameras cut off and you had to make your way to Ponderosa. I wish they still showed Ponderosa videos. I really miss those. Anyone else miss those? I mean, to be honest, the last year of my life has been so incredibly difficult because of the one moment where you wish she could just go back and take a right instead of a left. The funny thing is, right after you get voted out and you go and you sit and you talk to one of the producers and you run through your whole game. I guess that's like the exit confessional he's talking about. I think I was talking for like 45 minutes after, and I felt like I just disassociated. I was out of my body. and the pain and the regret, it's like needles, and then it disappears, and then you're like, I don't know. I really don't think the pain disappeared. I think he still has a lot of pain from this one. I think he's gonna have it for a long time and well deserved. Broke my heart, man. I'm sorry if I sound a little insensitive. Like, dude, you've broken my heart so many times. I've about had it with this guy. I still love this guy, but I've had it with him. I don't think he needs to come back anymore. And I hate saying that, but yeah, I think I've had it with him. I think Probst has probably had it with him at this point too. How do you not play your goddamn idol? How do you blow up your game to Aubrey? Jesus. So he says he's been waking up in the middle of the night for the last year with regrets. Like I just said in the beginning. Even right now, trying to explain it, it's so difficult. Like, why? What was it about that moment? Why didn't I just play the idol? Dude, I don't. It's like playing poker, you know? Losing a big pot feels so much worse than losing. I mean, than feels so much worse than winning a big pot feels good. But so many players, they just can't see that. And he says, why was I trying to hold on to the idol? Yeah, that's my question. I said all day I was going to play the idol, and in the last moment I didn't do it. I don't know. No, he was never going to play that. He was never, ever going to play that idol. Never. Not until like the last chance he had to play it. Ozzy, he can't play an idol as long as like there's another tribal where he's allowed to play it. He just doesn't have it in him, man. Sorry to say. Uh, he has a lot of courage. He has a lot of integrity. Funny thing is, he's not a complete idiot. I mean, I've said he's an effing idiot. I mean, in some ways he is, but in other ways, I mean, he is extremely well spoken in every tribal council. My screen recorder won't spontaneously stop for some reason, so I'm trying another one. I said some really fluffy philosophical, like one of the last things I said to Jeff was, if I get voted out, it's like I don't deserve to be here, you know? I'm not sure I can disagree. And there it is. I do think I deserve to be there, but maybe someone else needs that 2 million more than I do. That's not a good way to think in playing Survivor. You gotta like just believe you deserve the money, believe you deserve to win, believe you're the best player. Okay, Ross says, listen, I always love chatting with you because you always are so open and honest with your feelings. And it's the reason why I would never go play Survivor, right? Because I don't think I could handle what you've handled over the past year. And a lot of people try and brush it off, but you're honest about the hurt. And the hurt, well, I don't think he's completely honest. I mean, he's not manning up. Like I said, he's not manning up and admitting it wasn't not playing the idol. It was blowing up his game to Aubrey. But anyway, he says, the hurt is what makes the game so real and the stakes so high. You said that all day you were planning to play the idol. He wasn't. What was it ultimately that tipped it for you not to do it? I wish I knew the answer. It's something I've been asking myself for the last year. It's like, why would I not? Exactly. Was it just me being greedy? Yes. With wanting one more day? Yes. Because to be honest, right? Dalton, from day one, I was at risk, and I felt like I was playing with the house's money for the whole entire game. So I was like, what's one more day? I think I can make it one more day. These guys got to get rid of Aubrey. Come on. They've been saying it the whole entire game. So I just kind of got cerebral about it, whatever that means. When two in my head about doing these crazy algebraic formulas, telling myself who's voting for who, and how and why and what, whatever. When in my heart of hearts, I felt it, but in my mind, but my mind got in the way. I think that's probably the biggest lesson for me. How many times does he have to learn a lesson, man? He's never going to learn his lesson. It's like this guy I knew in the Navy just kept getting burned by like chicks. I remember this other guy just saying to him one time, haven't you learned your lesson by now, man? He would like just he would like he's like one of those guys that catfish is completely. giving them money all the time, thinking it's gonna win their heart. But I mean, not like paying for stuff, stuff like that. But anyway, he says, I think that's probably the biggest lesson for me in all of this is being more in tune with your intuition. I remember, I'm pretty sure it was after South Pacific. He was being interviewed by Bill Bailey, I think. And he was, I want to win. I just want to win. And then he does something stupid like this. And again, it's not, the stupid thing wasn't not playing the idol. I can understand that. Well, I could have probably understood that if he hadn't had a premonition and a dream warning him not to do it. But just blowing up his game to Aubrey, that I just don't understand. That makes no sense whatsoever. But he says, as much as your subconscious is so powerful, that's really what it comes down to is I let my mind play a major trick on myself. I'll never blast someone for not playing an idol, right? I really hope Dalton Ross, you know, kind of alludes to what I'm saying, that not playing the idol wasn't his blunder. But so Ross says, I think there are calculations and there are reasons, and it can help you later. And you're just playing what you perceive to be the odds. Let's get into the other thing that people could take issue with, which you've already brought up once. Why lay out the entire game to great, including the extra vote? Because to me, not playing the idol. Okay, yes, Ross agrees with me. I love it. I love it. Because to me, not playing the idol is not the flaw in the game. It was going to Aubrey. Exactly. Exactamundo, as Fonzie would say. I'm really showing my age now, aren't I? Tell me about that decision. Okay, I really want to hear. This is Ozzy speaking. What it comes down to is the missing piece was not playing the idol. What? So you go to somebody like Aubrey, you tell them the plan, you play the idol, they go home. At least with that, if you can get to the end, I've got somebody like Aubrey say, what even, just, what, I don't understand that logic. He's gonna like pretend he's with her and then blindside her, and that's supposed to get her to definitely want to vote for him. I'm not understanding the logic. I don't know if there's something missing. Anyone who's watching this can explain it to me. Please let me know in the comments. But he says, at least with that, okay. I was honest to her in that moment. He was not being honest with her. I played my idol. I sent her home, and maybe what is this like? Is this just like full of typos? I was honest to her in that moment. I played my idol. I sent her home, and maybe I've gotten myself that little leg up that I would need to win the 2 million. Okay, so he still thinks that was a good idea after all this time, after a year of sleeping well and eating, he still doesn't see what a bonehead move that was. Ozzy, 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 man, man. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that dude. Man, I love this guy so much, and how can I makes me question my decision making. But anyway, he says, it was a stupid calculation without playing the idol. If I played the idol, then I think that's a good move. And no, it wasn't. But all in all, I didn't. I also didn't follow some of the most standard advice that you could ever have is keep your mouth shut. Don't tell your plans to anyone. Okay. Yeah, he only had to play like 150 days to figure that out. But I got a little ahead of myself and it was doing the jury management, but way too early. You mentioned how difficult the past year has been. You go through this traumatic event, you have to sit with it for a year, and then you got to watch it play back to a national audience on TV. How was it watching it play back last night on TV? He says, listen, Survivor fans are the reason that I've been able to play so often. I've been able to play almost more than anybody, 5 times. Very few people have gotten the opportunity to try and try and try again. Yeah, it's just him, Sari, and Boston, not Rob, right? They're the only three that played 5 times. So I thought about being at home alone, like in my feelings, but I wanted to just be there with people so I could go through it in a very public way, which I've been doing my whole life. He's starting to tear up. So it was hard, but so much love here in New York, New York. So much love in the room. I'm just so grateful that I had people that have let me play so many times. I'm glad that you were able to be surrounded by the love. I'm sure you felt that love in the room at that time. Let's get into some other things that happened. Missing that. We saw Sari on the other beach, hoping Rizzo would tell you to play your idol. What do you make of his decision to cut you loose instead? I have to say, I can't blame Rizzo for that. I mean, come on, Ozzy, man, you did it to yourself. And from what I've been hearing, Ozzy's been holding a strong grudge against Rizzo, but it was his totally his own doing. I really don't think Rizzo would have voted for Ozzy had he not pulled such a stupid move. But Ozzy says, I don't blame the kid, I'm not sure that's true. He's just doing what he thinks is going to be best for his game. Come on, man up, man. You totally did it to yourself. I know that by telling Aubrey about what was up with my plans, that kind of solidified his desires to take me out. I do think it's short-sighted still. I think that when you make these kinds of alliances to go to the end with that, you should just follow that, okay? At least when you really think you got a solid three, because at the end of the day, I'd rather lose to Sari and Rizzo making the pact that stabbed them in the back and be sitting there with people that I didn't make the alliance with. Okay, that reminds me of something I wanted to say. Coach turning on Ozzy, breaking his word as a Christian. Sorry, I forgot to say this earlier, but I have a really hard time with Ozzy trying to make peace with Coach after that. I mean, Coach, that was just completely robbed so many people of the joy of seeing Ozzy win just so he could lose to Sophie. I mean, did Coach is I know Coach is not the sharpest tool in the drawer, but did he really think he had a chance against Sophie? I mean, sure, he had absolutely zero chance against Ozzy, but uh, he had zero chance against Sophie as well. Sophie could have gone into that last tribal council drunk out of her mind, stumbling all over the place, and she could have told the entire jury to go F themselves, and they still would have given her the $1 million. But anyway, back to this. It goes back to the I-24 Cook Islands when I said I was going to stick with him. I did to the very end. Did he? Well, they all got eliminated after that bad karma of throwing the challenge. And still to this day, I was ready to stick, I guess, with Rizzo and Sari. It says stick Rizzo and Sari. And I would have happily lost to Sari or Rizzo. I doubt that. Although I don't think that he would have been able to go against Sari and I. But the kid's a talker, right? And he does play a good game, but I think he's kind of burned his spot if he was ever to play Survivor again or any other reality show again. No, I don't agree with that. How can you trust this kid at this point? Him. He's not the one that blew up their game to Aubrey. So I don't blame him, but at the same time, I wish that it was different, obviously. Let's say you do make it to the end with Suri and Rizzo. How do you think you do with that jury and that configuration? He says, I think it's a toss up between Suri and I. I I'll say like Suri's probably the favorite at this point to win. I mean, she's getting a really obvious winner's edit. The one I personally want to win at this point is Devon's, even though I was never a big fan of his until last week's episode, which I'm also planning on doing a video about. But the one thing going against Suri, from what I understand from exit interviews, is she's been making like final three deals with everyone. But anyway, I think Rizzo could probably make a strong case to certain people on the jury. I think it would be a close one. I'm not running away with the game, definitely not with Suri, and that's the thing. That's the game that I wanted to play going in. I wanted Suri and I to be sitting at the end with really anybody, and I would happily lose to Suri any day. I doubt that. I don't think that's honest. So this is the big question now, Ozzy. You mentioned playing 5 times. Is your Survivor journey over? I mean, I can't see a world where Jeff asked me to come play for a 6th time, unless it's like the last season that he ever does, and maybe it's Survivor 60. That would be the only time I could see Jeff asking me to come play the US Survivor. I mean, Survivor 60 is only 5 years away. Now, I know there are some other international survivors out there. There are other survival game shows, but I would actually kind of like to see him on Extracted. I think he could possibly do very well in that game, and that would be a lot of fun to watch, actually. But I would happily go back. I would play Survivor over and over and over again. Before last week's episode, I would kind of sometimes fantasize about myself getting a Survivor audition and just telling the casting people, whether you choose me or not, just please, no more Aubrey and no more Coach and no more Tyson. You can bring back Rob and Ozzy back, keep bringing them back, but just no more Aubrey. But at this point, I think I would say no more Ozzy. I'm sorry, man. Dalton, I told you about this project I've been working on down in Mexico, basically like a eco resort, because Survivor is giving me basically like an eco resort that has Survivor experience woven into the fabric of it. Uh, I don't know if that's going to work. I think that sounds like something he could get sued over. Because Survivor has given me so much in my life, I want to be able to bring an experience to fans where they can come and hang out with people that have played the game and have a mini experience and just get a little taste of what we go through. That's a great idea, actually, but I'm not sure it wouldn't be violating some kind of copyright that Mark Burnett and everyone else has. What it feels like to have all your distractions stripped away, to be there making connections in nature, whether it's with nature or with your fellow game players. So Survivor is giving me so much. I want to be able to bring that back to fans. And so that's a project I'm working on, and I hope to bring that online within the year. I think online is just an expression. Okay, that's going to wrap it up. I think I said everything I wanted to say. But let me know what you think. Was this Ozzy's biggest blunder yet? Thank you very much to all my subscribers. Please like and subscribe to the video. At least like helps out the channel. And I'll be doing it. I'm planning on doing a couple other Survivor videos. I mean, this season has been really great, very exciting, but also so shocking that I've never really done a Survivor video like this one, but I have done other Survivor videos that were very popular. But I mean, this season has just been so captivating, just so what's the word? Inspiring that I'm planning on doing a couple more. So watch out for those. And actually, no, actually, I'm probably gonna release those before this one. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. That'll do it for this one. As they say in China, 再见.